I wish her the best and everything. It was a sad time in our lives.
Whatever happened to Tiger Woods and Elin Nordegren? For years, their names were inseparable from one of the most explosive celebrity scandals in history. They were the golden couple, a symbol of athletic perfection and family bliss, whose idyllic world was shattered for everyone to see. But what if the story didn't end with betrayal and a record-breaking divorce? What if the real story is what happened after the cameras turned away? Recently, the two were spotted together, looking not just civil, but genuinely happy. It was a sight no one ever thought possible. So, what is really going on between the two people who were once the world's most famous broken couple? The truth is far more complex and fascinating than you could ever imagine. Before the Inferno, there was a fairy tale. He was the greatest golfer on the planet, a global icon of discipline and success. She was the quiet, intelligent Swedish model, introduced to him by a fellow golfer whose children she knew. Their wedding in 2004 was a spectacle of luxury and privacy, a multi-million-dollar affair at a resort in Barbados. They built a life that seemed untouchable, complete with two beautiful children, Sam and Charlie, and a sprawling mansion in one of Florida's most exclusive communities. They were the perfect picture of the American dream, a brand built on talent, beauty, and integrity. But behind the closed gates of their kingdom, a dark secret was festering, ready to bring the entire empire crumbling down. The beginning of the end came on a quiet Thanksgiving night in 2009. The first reports were confusing and bizarre. Tiger Woods, the world's most disciplined athlete, had crashed his Cadillac Escalade just feet from his own driveway. He'd collided with a fire hydrant and then a tree, ending up unconscious in the street. The initial story was that his wife, Elin, had heroically smashed the car's back windows with a golf club to pull him to safety. But something about the story didn't add up. Why was he leaving his home at 2:30 in the morning? And why did the rescue involve a golf club? This single, strange event was the loose thread that, when pulled, would unravel a tapestry of lies. Within days, the narrative of a simple car accident had completely disintegrated. The real story began to surface, one of a furious confrontation and a desperate escape. The reason for the fight was a bombshell revelation from a nightclub manager named Rachel Ucatel, who claimed to have been in a long-term affair with Woods. Her story opened the floodgates. One woman became two, then 10, then more than a dozen. Cocktail waitresses, models, and performers all came forward with their own sordid tales of secret encounters with the golf icon. The scandal wasn't about a single mistake. It was about a deeply ingrained pattern of deception. The image of the wholesome family man was not just tarnished, it was obliterated. The world watched, captivated, and horrified. The media frenzy was relentless. Every news channel, every newspaper, every late-night talk show host had a take on Tiger's downfall. Paparazzi helicopters hovered over their Florida home, capturing images of a boarded-up and broken life. Elin was suddenly the most famous wronged woman in the world, a prisoner in her own home. She was hounded, photographed, and speculated about endlessly. How much did she know? Would she stay? Through it all, she remained a ghost, completely silent, navigating an unimaginable personal hell under the harshest public glare, while Elin maintained her silence. Tiger was forced to face the music. In February 2010, he delivered one of the most surreal public apologies in modern history. Standing alone in a room, in front of a plain blue curtain, he read from a prepared statement, confessing to his irresponsible and selfish behavior. He admitted to his infidelity and apologized for the pain he had caused his family and fans. But for many, the apology felt cold, staged, and impersonal. It was a desperate act of damage control from a man whose brand was in freefall. Major sponsors like Gatorade and AT&T dropped him, and the invincible aura he once carried was gone forever. Months later, after the public apology and a stint in rehab for what was vaguely described as his issues, the divorce was finalized. But before the ink was dry, Elin finally broke her silence, giving a single, powerful interview to People magazine. She spoke of her shock, her heartbreak, and the absolute hell she had endured. She admitted she had been blindsided, saying she felt stupid as more and more secrets were revealed. She confessed she had tried for months to work things out, but the betrayal was too deep. Ultimately, her decision to leave was for her own sanity and for the future of her children. She walked away from the marriage not with bitterness, but with a quiet resolve to protect her family from any more chaos. The divorce settlement was staggering. Reports claimed Elin Nordegren received a payout of over $100 million, one of the largest settlements in sports history. But it was never just about the money. A key condition was a powerful non-disclosure agreement, preventing her from ever writing a tell-all book or speaking publicly about the details of their marriage and its collapse. Her silence was bought, but it was a silence she likely would have kept anyway. Her priority wasn't revenge. It was peace. She took the money and the freedom and vanished from the public eye, determined to build a new life from the ashes of her old one. As Elin retreated, Tiger's life continued to unravel. His body, once a marvel of athletic engineering, began to betray him. He was plagued by a series of debilitating injuries to his knee and back, leading to multiple surgeries and long, frustrating absences from the sport he once dominated. His game suffered, the confident swagger replaced by a visible fragility. His personal life was no better. In 2017, he was arrested for a DUI, found asleep at the wheel of his car. The now infamous mugshot showed a man who was lost, tired, and a ghost of his former self. The fall from grace was complete. He wasn't just a fallen hero, he was a cautionary tale. But while Tiger was in the wilderness, Elin was undergoing a quiet and profound rebirth. In a move loaded with symbolism, she had their shared mansion bulldozed to the ground, erasing the physical space of their life together on the same plot of land. She built a new, spectacular home, a fortress of her own design. She went back to school, enrolling at Rollins College to study psychology, fitting choice for someone who had endured such a profound psychological ordeal. She graduated with honors, and in a speech to her graduating class, she even made a lighthearted joke about her tumultuous public life. She had found her voice again, not to rail against her ex-husband, but to celebrate her own resilience. She found new love, first with the late billionaire Chris Klein, and later with former NFL star Jordan Cameron, with whom she had more children. She had built a new family and a new identity entirely on her own terms. Years passed, the scandal faded from the headlines. And then, something strange started to happen. A picture would surface here and there, Tiger and Elin standing a few feet apart at a school function for their daughter Sam. Then another, at a junior golf tournament for their son Charlie. The initial interaction seemed polite, if a bit distant. But slowly, a visible thaw began. The distance between them shrank. They were seen talking, then laughing. The world watched, perplexed. How could these two people, torn apart by such a venomous public betrayal, stand side by side and smile? The catalyst for this incredible transformation was their children. As Sam and Charlie grew older, their parents made a silent pact to be present and united for them, no matter their personal history. This became especially evident as their son Charlie began to show astonishing talent in golf. Following in his father's legendary footsteps, suddenly Tiger and Elin had a powerful, shared purpose, nurturing their son's gift. They became a fixture at his tournaments, not as a broken couple, but as a co-parenting team. This new dynamic was put on full display at the PNC Championship, a tournament where pro golfers team up with a family member. Tiger and Charlie became the event's star attraction, and watching from the sidelines was always Elin. Often alongside their daughter Sam, she would walk the course, cheering for them both, a proud mother supporting her son and his father. The image was surreal. Elin Nordegren, the woman whose marriage was destroyed by golf, was now back on the course, a willing and happy spectator. It was a testament to her incredible capacity for forgiveness, all for the sake of her children. In a candid 2015 interview, Tiger himself shed light on their unbelievable new relationship. He stunned the world by calling Elin one of his best friends. He spoke about their open communication, how they could talk on the phone for hours, making decisions together about the kids. He acknowledged the pain of the past, but emphasized their shared commitment to the future. "She's one of my best friends," he reiterated. "We both know that the most important things in our lives are our kids." It was a shocking admission that confirmed what the pictures had been suggesting. They had found a way to not just coexist, but to genuinely support one another. This stands in stark contrast to Tiger's other relationships. His long-term romance with Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn ended amicably, but his most recent relationship with Erica Herman ended in a bitter legal battle, complete with NDAs and accusations of misconduct. His romantic life has remained turbulent, but his connection with Elin has only grown stronger and more stable. The mother of his children has become the most consistent and reliable woman in his life, a fact that would have been unthinkable a decade ago. It seems the trauma they endured together has forged a unique, unbreakable bond that transcends romance. At a recent state championship tournament, the scene was more telling than ever. Tiger and Elin stood shoulder to shoulder, watching their 16-year-old son lead his team to victory. They chatted icily, shared smiles, and looked like any other proud parents on the sideline. There was no tension, no awkwardness, just a shared sense of joy. They have redefined what it means to be a family after divorce. Their story is no longer about the scandal that broke them apart, but about the children who brought them back together. So, what is the truth about Tiger Woods and Elin Nordegren? It's a story about the slow, difficult, and deliberate process of forgiveness. It's a story about choosing parental unity over personal bitterness. They will never be the fairy tale couple the world once thought they were, but they have become something far more real and in many ways far more inspiring. They are partners in parenthood who navigated the darkest of storms and found a way to share the sunshine on the other side. Their legacy will not be the scandal, but the incredible friendship that rose from its ashes, proving that sometimes the end of a love story can be the beginning of an even better one.